You'll be out of it, and then you wake up, the screen is gone. Okay, so I think I'll kind of accelerate over the next couple of slides, right? Next conversations. Okay, all right. So again, there's a whole lot of confusion about marketing sales. Well, it's marketing sales. Some people are called marketing executives, but they are doing sales. Some people are called sales executives. They are doing marketing. Really, they are all in the same engine and they work together. Marketing cannot work without sales, and sales cannot work without marketing, right? And you can't be a salesperson without driving marketing, and you cannot be in marketing without knowing about sales. Okay, so they are part and complementary or complement each other, as the case is. Um, so that's really how it works. You can't not do without the other. So if you're a marketing or sales executive, maybe that's a proper name to do it, but that's going to be long on your CV. All right, that's going to be very long on your CV. So I'm not sure that really works. Okay, so that's basically how it is. And in the past, and I've seen companies blaming each other a lot. You guys, we need to come to a realization that you need the others to work with. And the blame game starts when the things are not going well. The salespeople will say, yeah, the marketing price is too high, the strategy is not working, and they don't understand the customers. The marketing guys will say the salespeople are lazy. And I've seen that. And between the few of us, I've been in some of these blame game myself. Okay. And when the sales are not going right, you point your finger at the marketing, and the marketing guys what really want to deal with you at those meeting boards when you're sitting in front of your bosses. The marketing guys will already screw you up, right? You've not been able to drive sales. We need to understand they work together. Okay, none can work without the other. No matter how good your marketing initiative is, no matter how good your that thinking, that idea you have is, if you don't go out there to execute, which is sales, if you do not go get there to drive the sales, it will look like nothing is working. It will look like the marketing initiative does not work or it's not effective. But that's not really the case because the sales guys are not really driving it. And the other way around, no matter how good a salesperson you are, no matter how hard you drive those solutions, okay, if the marketing strategy ab initio is not effective, is not grounded on real and concrete marketing intelligence, interpreted the right way, and you go driving sales, you will not have a good outcome. So there is no need, guys, to go into that blame game. The two teams, are all working together in this perspective. And how can you drive marketing activities? We really talked about them when we were talking about the different marketing intelligence. Okay, as a salesperson, you also have to see yourself in marketing. You talk to your customers, talk to the end users, talk to your prescribers, talk to those pharmacies. What are they doing? Where are your customers meeting? You want to have a CME? Where are your customers meeting? Who are they listening to? Who are your key opinion leaders? Who are the pharmacists? Who are the doctors that will talk? And other prescribers or other pharmacists will listen to them. Who are your KOLs, key opinion leaders? All right. Those are the people that may help you drive your solutions. Okay, so that's a whole lot of things you really need to draw your marketing solutions activities as well. So basically, of course, to become a good sales professional, right, you really have to drive those marketing solutions. And I will still go back to a couple of case studies I had in terms of in my former days, and I'll look at that and also look at my current we're currently. I talked a lot about Viagra. Okay, Viagra was a product we actively marketed. Lipitor was also a product we actively marketed. In fact, in Lipitor in 2011, way back in 2011, 2006 more or less, it was like a $13 billion business. Okay, and there was no dyslipidemia in the market. Okay, people didn't even have the idea about dyslipidemia, and here we are. We had to market a drug managing dyslipidemia. So where are you gonna start? So we started with marketing intelligence. What was happening? So the first information I'm giving you is marketing intelligence. There and then, people were not even aware about the disease profile, dyslipidemia, hyperlipidemia, high cholesterol levels. And we built marketing strategies around trying to drive awareness about the disease. So we have clinical sessions with clinicians, prescribers on one hand, and then we also went to end users compliantly to talk to them about um, the right cholesterol levels and encouraging them to go for cholesterol screening. All right. So on one hand, we were driving the guys that what we call the pushers, the prescribers, telling them about the awareness about the disease. Because if you're not aware about the disease, you won't be able to look out for them out there in the field. So clinicians gradually became aware through our clinical sessions that this lipidemia could cause strokes, could cause problems in the heart, in the veins, and all that. And as they became aware, right, we are also driving the pull mechanism, which is awareness amongst um, patients that high cholesterol levels are not good for their body. It's not good for their blood. Then with that push and pull mechanism, we were able to eventually introduce Lipitor into the market. So we went back to the breast prescribers. Now you are aware that this lipidemia is a problem and it's causing strokes in your patients and is a big comorbidity for your diabetic patients, your hypertensive patients. We have a solution, a blockbuster called Lipitor. That's atorvastatin, and it ranges from 10, 20, 40, and 80 milligrams. All right. So that strategy was create awareness, introduce a medication, and then continue to drive sales. And that really worked. And like I said, in 26 alone, and you guys can check it online, globally, Lipitor became a blockbuster. $13 million or $1 billion worth of sales. I'm talking Naira, $1 billion worth of sales. And this was a strategy, not just in Nigeria, across the entire world. And we drove that strategy throughout that period. Even as of 2011, when the product eventually came out of patency, when every other company was at liberty to bring in their brand of atorvastatin, Lipitor still made $10 billion. Now that's what you call a strategy backing up the sales that really works. Okay, even the year the product is losing patency, it still sell to $10 billion. So out there in the field, out there when you're driving a product, when you are given a pharmaceutical product to sell, what are you thinking of? What is your marketing plan? And that's where it starts. Because if we didn't get the marketing plan right, if we went out there, we have Lipitor to sell, we have 40,000 cartons of Lipitor to sell, and we went out there, that's doctors, let's do meetings. This is Lipitor, this is used for this lipidemia. We've done the wrong marketing strategy, and we will not be able to get those amount of sales. But when you are given a product, you really have to go back to your marketing, understand what's happening. Get,
which kind of
I don't know if that's a question, but the questions are at the end of the session. Okay. All right. So are you getting your marketing mix right? When you are given that target at the beginning of the year, at the beginning of the quarter, have you looked back? What is my marketing strategy? What is my goal? What are my objectives? How am I going to implement this? Am I going to need a marketing team to support me? What is intelligence in the market? What is the perception about this product, about this profile, about it? What is in the market? Because all that backhand information, backdoor information is really going to help you to drive a solution. Because if you don't get a solution right, you go out there and get it wrong. Okay. I don't know if some of you have watched the movie 300, right? About the Spartans and I can't remember the guys. There were about 300 guys facing a whole lot of warriors all over, right? Just 300 people. They got their strategy right before they went to that battle. Okay. Their strategy was not just go out, carry your daggers and go out and start fighting, but you get slaughtered before you before you even say Jack Robinson. You know, you just carry your detailing bags, get your books. I've been given this product to sell. Let me just go to the next pharmacy and start selling. Oh boy, you work hard like anything, and at the end of the day, you will not meet your target. And you sit in front of your manager and he'll tell you, brother, you have not done well. Your sales has been poor, and you're gonna have a very, of course, poor rating, which is not good. So, like I said, you really have to get your strategy right. Look at the companies, look at the businesses that have driven that strategy right, and look at the strategies they've done. See if there are things you can copy, not really in terms of the processes, I mean, not instead of what they've done, but understand the steps they've taken. Understand the steps some of these pharmaceutical companies have taken, understand the steps some of these pharmaceutical sales reps have taken to be able to succeed. And if you do them right and your product is right and sales and marketing comes together in one flow, you will definitely have a good outcome. Okay, that's basically how it works. Great. I think we kind of wrap this up. Um, I hope it's been interesting. I hope we've gotten a couple of things, and I look forward to the questions. Okay, over to you, Chidaya.
Thank you so much, Ikenna. I have a couple of questions coming in already. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Can hear you.
Okay, good, good. Thank you so much, guys, for staying till the end. Ikenna, wow, it's marketing issue, eh? So let me take the first question. It's from Adiola. Adiola is saying, "Good morning, Chine. Good morning, Adiola. How do you work when a business is sales focused with little or no marketing activities?" I'm sure you were expecting that question, Ikenna.
Yeah, how do you work when the business is little sales or marketing focused? I think it's really about firstly, that's a great question. Okay, that's number one question you get in these situations. Okay, how do you manage and when the business sales focused? And I can relate with that a lot because there's so much pressure in the pharmaceutical industry as well as so many driving sales. But the truth is that's not really true. Okay, it depends on how you look at it. Marketing, like I've said, is not when you have a marketing manager with a marketing budget of 10 million naira to execute, and then you say the business is marketing, not marketing focused. In your own microcosm, right? In your own micro sales business, because it is a business. When you are giving product to sell, you have to see it as a business. You are now running a business. And in your own small nature, or rather small state, you are the marketing person, you are the sales person. So you can't really say your business is not marketing focused unless you're not marketing focused. So they've given you product to sell. That's an outcome. What you may say is maybe some pharmaceutical companies are not really looking at the whole thing for you. They expect you to go out and do what is right for you to sell. They want the outcome, which is, frankly speaking, for myself, my business, we are looking at the outcome. But you that is driving the outcome, you need to know what it takes for you to get to the outcome. Okay, just because they've given a target of 10, maybe 200 cartons of a product to sell, go default and sell, doesn't mean you just go out, carry your daggers, carry everything and start selling. Okay, you really have to take out time and do your own marketing proposition. It does not have to be $10 million. It doesn't have to be 10,000, 1 million naira. There's marketing events you can still do. Small events like gathering doctors together and doing a session. That's marketing event. Marketing intelligence. You're already out there. What information are you getting? That's marketing intelligence. Okay, you're getting marketing intelligence. Are you interpreting them well? Are you being able to get into them? So even though you are thinking you are not engaging in marketing, you're really doing it. Okay, if you hear that there is a PCS session happening in Ilori, maybe the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria is holding a conference in Ilori, that's marketing information. It's not sales information, it's marketing information. So why not go to Ilori and book a slot and have a CME? You don't need your CEO to tell you you have to go there and book a slot to have a CME. Okay, whether or not they approve the fund is another thing, right? But at least you already gathered the marketing information, you've interpreted it right, and said maybe I should use this opportunity to market my product, maybe augmenting or whatever product it is. That's marketing already. You can decide, clinicians are going for a conference in Lagos. Maybe I shouldn't go. I shouldn't go to this hospital to have a program because all the clinicians will be out for that week. That's marketing intelligence. So yes, you're absolutely right that a couple of companies are, well, you're partially right in saying they are not focused in the marketing, but I would say they are not focused in maybe walking you through the entire lane. They want the outcomes. Remember, it's a very VUCA environment. I'm sure most of you know what VUCA is, and businesses have to survive. So there is much pressure on the outcomes. Just because there is pressure on the outcome doesn't mean you don't walk through the whole 9 yards and make sure your marketing makes your strategies right. If not, that same company will come back and blame you or penalize you for not driving the sales. Okay, I don't know if that's kind of clear.
Adiola, I don't know if Ikenna was able to answer your question. If he wasn't, maybe you should just rephrase the question so that he can understand it better. But I think you answered it. But let's wait for Adiola's response. You have another question, Ikenna. Someone is asking is Kelly is asking if if you're still in the pharma sales and marketing. The answer is no, Kelly. If you were here in the beginning, you'd have heard him introduce himself. But let me just go to the second part. He's asking, why did you leave? Why did
So
you
I
leave?
never left.
Okay.
Let's go back to the first question. Am I in the pharma sales?
Oh,
I
that's
am still in the
sorry. I
pharma sales.
forgot. I forgot. Sorry.
I'm still in the pharma sales, and I don't see myself going anywhere. Again,
Okay, okay,
I
that's
mean,
true.
I'm in so many things at once. So am I still in pharma sales? I'm in pharma sales. So that kind
Okay,
of
maybe you
negates.
didn't introduce that part of you. Maybe that's why he's asking.
Okay, apologies. I'm still in pharma sales. I do a whole lot of things. I hold sessions. I mentor enterprises as well. I drive pharmaceutical business in another angle. I work in other places. So I do a whole lot of things. So I never left pharmaceutical. That's my first love, as it were, right? So I'm still driving a lot of pharmaceutical sales initiatives
Oh,
out there in
cool.
the market.
Yeah, so we're expecting you back here, Ikenna. Maybe next month or October. So, but
Okay.
secondly, Kelly is also asking, how did you market Viagra to doctors then? I remember you were a Viagra champion. How did you market Viagra to doctors then? Are there any special marketing tips you're recommending? And how do you sell, especially when your product is exorbitantly expensive and a competitive generic is ridiculously cheap? Wow. I'm sure you're expecting this question, Ikenna. So over to you.
Yeah, yeah. That was Kelly, right? Is that Kelly's question? I'm trying to write down the names of the
Yes,
guys
that's
that
Kelly's
asked.
question. That's Kelly's
Yeah,
question. That's the
the
second
people,
question.
the guy is called Kelly. Always ask those kind of questions. All right. So, first question: how did we sell Viagra? It's simple, not so simple. Okay. Um, what I've talked about today is in a nutshell what we did, which was get the marketing intelligence, understand what it was in the market, right? So Viagra for us was for erectile dysfunction, immobility, a condition um, that people were not aware of. So way back in 2000, 1990s, people were not really aware about erectile dysfunction, but it wasn't really a disease profile that was clearly understood by clinicians. So going back to marketing, we had to understand that this was not a disease profile, or rather, doctors were not even thinking about erectile dysfunction as a disease. It was just, that was Sigma, man. You are not a man, or you couldn't able to do this, or you couldn't do that, right? From a scientific perspective, there was a lot of stigma attached to it. So we set up strategies, we did our marketing campaign and understood this clearly in whichever market we operated in. In Nigeria, there was a lot of stigma attached to it. Men were not open to talk about it. Their spouses were not talking about it. The doctors were shy about talking about it. Nobody wanted to talk about it. So we started talking about it. The market didn't want to talk about it. We had products to sell. So we saw a gap. So some people will see there is a gap here. People are not talking about it. This market will not sell. I'm not gonna go there. But we saw an opportunity. People were not talking about it, but there was disease. So why not go talk about it and sell this outcome? Okay, so it's like you have a disease profile that exists, but I'm not talking about it, and you have a product that you have to sell. So how do you match the two? Okay, you have to get people talking about it. And we held so many sessions on getting doctors to become comfortable with talking about erectile dysfunction. And I could stand in front of a crowd of 300, 400 people, men, women, ladies, guys, and talk about erectile dysfunction without batting an eye. Okay, creating that awareness among clinicians. And then we also went to patients from a layman's perspective, from a patient compliance perspective, getting them aware about and getting them more comfortable about talking about um, issues relating to their sexual performance, right? And gradually, doctors became more comfortable discussing it with patients, okay, especially patients with comorbidities, hypertensive patients, diabetic patients. And when they opened up, remember, we had already done some work with the patient trying to get aware about that this problem is a problem that exists. It's not that it doesn't exist, you guys, but your doctor is open to talk about it. And gradually the two came to one, and doctors were willing, patients were okay talking about it, and we had a solution. We called Viagra, and doctors started prescribing Viagra for their patients. So it wasn't easy, all right. It's but a whole lot of work had to be done. Now flip that to the side of we had Viagra 20 cartons and we all hit the market to sell. We'll just hit a wall. The doctors will oppose because they don't know about disease. I can't prescribe Viagra because I don't even know what you're talking about. Even if he eventually prescribes, the patients will say, "Why the hell are you prescribing Viagra for me? Are you saying I'm not a man?" You can imagine if you say I'm not a man. Imagine talking to somebody who doesn't know, has not gotten this awareness. So this whole mix, market intelligence, marketing has a big part to play in driving your sales. So for our Viagra, that was really what really helped. And that's why I say it's an iceberg approach. So for Lipitor, for Viagra, that it was millions, a major blockbuster in globally then, right? One of the fastest selling drugs then. People are just seeing the fastest selling drugs. They didn't know the hours and hours of research work that went in trying to understand what had to happen before this product sells. So that's what we did in for Viagra as it were. I hope that kind of answers the first question. So the second question is was, and correct me if I'm wrong, how do you market a very expensive product? And I will go back to probably Viagra or where we work now. We have MRIs that cost about $1.5 million, and you have to sell that to maybe some other brands that cost maybe $200,000. Or if we go to pharma, you're talking about Viagra, maybe that is 8,000 naira, and you have products like Vega, okay, that is 200 naira. Okay, again, no, not trying to be to one or the other or say one company is not. That's not the point. The point is one is 5, another one is 500. How do you sell the two? Tough question, tough situation, and there is no right or wrong answer, but you still have to go back to your marketing strategy. Your 5,000 naira products, who are the people you're targeting? The 500 naira products are the people you're targeting. All right. What is your value proposition? What things are you using to classify, or what terms are you using, or what features are you using for your product that is a superior price? You have to have an edge. It can't be just price. If it's just price, then it's fine. Then that's another problem. There must be some superior benefits. It could be studies you've done, it could be efficacy, it could be outcomes, it could be quality. You don't sell based on price, you sell on the value it creates. Okay, so for Viagra, then we are competing with the Vega, the sildenafils of that was 1/10 of the price, and it was ridiculous. You don't waste your time flogging a dead horse. That's for sure. So to realize you're not gonna win the whole market. Okay, again, this is not a sales marketing. So let me delve back into marketing before I get. So again, for those kind of things, that's where marketing comes in. Okay, understanding the market, understanding your targets, understand who your clients are. It's like your iPhones and the techno phones. The people that buy iPhones kind of buy iPhones. They know they value it. An iPhone does not target the people that buy the low end 1,000 naira phones. The guys that sell Mercedes, they know who they target. They will not target the guys that buy the Hyundais. Again, I'm just trying to say the market stratification. Okay, that's just the way it works. So you really have to understand your market, understand your clients, and when you understand your clients, you will know what strategy works for them. All right, that's very very key. Okay, so that's what I will advise for those kind of things. Again, it's not about getting the high end product and delving out into the market and going to sell. That will not work. You have a high-end product, you have a competitor with low price. You really have to segment your market, do your marketing mix well, and target the population or target your that particular segment that you have found that need your product. Okay. All
Okay,
right. I hope
thank
that's answers your question, Kelly.
Yeah, Kelly is actually interested in communicating with you after this presentation. He seems to he seems to have really enjoyed the discussion. Adela has a question B in continuation to her question A. She says that, so true to your words, as part of the sales force, we indeed need to carry out some form of marketing in our microscope. But what happens when the marketing intelligence are not utilized or little support is provided in the case of conference, for example, amongst other issues such as little production promotional materials? Sorry, there's a noise at my background, but did you hear the question?
Yeah, I did. You are saying in case the marketing, the sales guys come back with feedback and the marketing team, if you have it, is not utilizing that information, right? I think that's the question. What would you do? Is that the question?
Detail out again. She says, what happens when the marketing intelligence are not utilized? That's probably maybe from her directors or managers, or little support is provided in the case of a conference, for instance. Imagine, you mentioned if there's a conference, they could come and, have a presentation. Imagine she raises that kind of issue and nobody is supporting her, amongst other issues such as little promotional materials, product promotional materials. So what does she do in that kind of a situation? Like, more like
Yeah.
she's giving the marketing intelligence, but it's not being utilized. There's little support being provided. How does she handle the situation like that?
Yeah, that's really real world, and it's the world we live in. There aren't infinite resources. You need to also realize that the marketing team is also pressed for a budget. They have a budget they have to exceed. So they cannot be able to do everything. Number one. So you may come up with the best idea, you may come up with it doesn't necessarily mean it will be implemented. Again, every business has to survive. And for example, if I run a business, I have 10 million naira. Okay. I have to allot my amount or the money I have to various things. And maybe I've allotted 2 million to marketing for that year. And everybody's coming out with a marketing program. And by the time you sum it up, it's 10 million of 7 million naira to drive all the marketing campaigns. Clearly, it's not going to work. Okay. So, on one hand, you have finite resources. Just like you as a salesperson cannot be everywhere at the same time. The same way, the marketing business or the marketing section, if you have it, cannot do everything that you want them to do. It's impossible. Imagine if you have a company that has 10 or 20 reps and each of them is coming up with a marketing strategy. Each one costs maybe 100,000 naira. Times it by 10, that's 1 million. What if the budget for that month is 500,000? So what you said is a very valid um, situation, and it happens real time, and it will continue happening. It's not going away. Not every idea you bring to forth would be taken in. Firstly, it could be because of budget. Secondly, it might be because of a business priorities for that quarter or for that year. For example, during my time I was marketing Novask or Viagra, imagine if I came up with a strategy, let's go and do an advert in radio, which would have been a great idea, but maybe the business didn't have that budget at the time. Okay, so firstly, you need to see that way. To understand the business doesn't have infinite resources. They're also finite, the same way that you cannot be at everywhere at the same time. Secondly, you also have to be able to push. In some sectors, you may be able to go a little bit more and push your case. Okay, just throwing in a suggestion at the meeting may not really cut it. Again, your marketing guys have a whole ton of initiative they need to work in. So maybe you need to do a little bit more work, a thorough work, showcasing that this initiative will really help. So just calling your marketing manager, I need to have a CME in Lagos. In Ilorin, they're having a PSN conference. I think it will work. It may not really have. Besides, maybe 10 people have had it this year. So what's the difference in your own? So if you're passionate about that solution, you need to back it up. Okay, what is in it for the business? That's the end of the day. So even if the business doesn't have a good budget and you make a case and the business sees that what is in it for them far outweighs just the investment, they may get the budget from somewhere else. So again, I've looked outwards. I'm also looking inwards. Have you built a good business case to drive a solution? And I've seen it so many times. I've had meetings in places where budgets have been said, we are not going to hold it. Okay, there was an event I held with Shell and Shell company about, was it Lipit or so? And the budget for that quarter was gone. But I told them, we built a case. Shell then was our highest purchaser of Lipitor, right? And this was going to entrench that mindset of this epidemic within people. And this was going to be the outcome. And the business saw that, wow, though we've run out of budget, but this looks like a big fish. All right. And by the time we sat down and discussed the case, everybody saw it was a win-win situation. And though we didn't have a budget, that budget came out. So that's another thing. Will that work all the time? Absolutely not. Sometimes the budget is gone and the sales is low, so there's nothing you can do. Okay, so that is also another thing you may do, but will it work all the time? Not really. The other part is you can actually scale and bring it to what you can execute. Okay, so though, and I'm using a classical example of things we've done, though you want to have a CME in a PCN conference in Ilorin and you need to pay, and you've talked to the marketing people and they don't have budgets sometimes authentically, or they don't have budgets and they are telling you stories, which is fine, it happens in real life. What stops you from doing something on your own sphere? Is anybody stopping you from driving to a lorry and stand at the door there and tell everybody your distribute flyers? Again, these are scenarios you could paint. Okay, what stops you from finding the convener of that thing and getting the list of all the people that attended and putting it together and sending them mails or communications? Again, that's a scenario. So you always have to ask yourself those questions. What can you do in your own sphere? It's not always about what can the marketing team do, and when they don't do it, you're done. Remember, at the end of the day, you're going to be judged by your outcome. Nobody's going to look at all the supports, whether it came or not. If flyers are not coming, man, you go to WhatsApp. If flyers WhatsApp are not coming, you go to phone calls. So you just keep hitting the wall. Something is gonna happen. I say it like you just keep punching the wall with your hand. It's either your hand breaks or the wall breaks, but something is gonna break. That's the thing. What you don't want to do is to be complacent and say, marketing team is not supporting me, so I give up. And if you give up, you shoot yourself in the leg. So my recommendation is keep at it. If you're passionate about it, you'll find a solution at the end of the day.
Yeah, thank you
I hope
very
that
much,
helps.
Tina. Yeah, I think it was
Great.
really helpful. So we have one more question before we call it a day. Um, Kelly is asking, I see you as a much senior colleague that is successful in your chosen career. Can you throw a little light on the career opportunities in the sales and marketing, that's in the pharma industry or FMCG? He wants to know, it's similar to the questions I sent to you when I said, how do I, how do I, how do I, how can I start to build my career in marketing, even as a sales professional or a sales representative?
Yeah, so career path, it's always a question with sales. What's your career path? And um, sometimes it's fully defined. Frankly speaking, sometimes it's not. And organizations are always evolving. Um, Tomorrow it might be there's a sales manager position. Tomorrow, next tomorrow, it might be another thing. Um, so I think you really have to look at yourself and know what you want to become at the end of the day, irrespective of the name it is called. It doesn't have to be called a country manager or sales manager. What do you really want to become? And that is what will drive your career. What do you want to be in 5, 10 years time? Okay. Um, and as you grow in the sales business, you constantly evaluate yourself versus the organization you work versus where you want to be. And you are appraising those at every point in time. In some situations, you'll find out that your career path, your plan, your vision of where you want to see is aligning with the organization you are in. And there is a career path or there is a plan to get to that place in the business you are in. And that's fine. So if you see that, you will decide to pursue that career path within the organization. In some cases, you may see yourself as this in this time and you're passionate about it, and you do not see yourself in that organization within that time. Or you don't see your organization getting to that, you see yourself getting to that position. So in that case, you either have to find a way to change the organization or change the environment you work in to create that channel, or you probably have to find another opportunity somewhere else that has that kind of channel for you to grow. Okay. So there is no hard and fast rule. And even in organizations where you see it or you don't see it, it can pivot tomorrow. Things can change. That's why I always recommend keep your eyes on the ball. Um, know what you want to be at the end of the day, where you want to go. Again, don't be so fixated with that because things can change. All right, things can really change. I'm sure some people wanted to be sales executives, going out there, sales managers, areas managers for companies, but the environment have changed. A lot of sales are being done online now. So if you're so fixated with what you want to do, and you continue growing, continue doing what you're passionate about, and whatever role you find yourself in or you work yourself into, make sure you're putting in 110% of your best. If you feel you can't put in your best, guy, just find another thing to do because you'll be damaging your career for the future, right? Because what works for you is what you've passed. If I'm interviewing somebody, I'm not interested in what really a little bit interested in what he's saying. I'm more interested in what he has done, what he has accomplished. So if you haven't accomplished a lot, missing me heaven in the future, I'm really scared about that. I want to know what you did in your final business, in the last business you worked in. Whether you liked it or not, in fact, you don't even want to tell me that you didn't like the business you worked in because I'm gonna say if you didn't like it on the date and you were there, so if I hire you, why would you be there? So you really have to be passionate about what you do. If you're not passionate about it, find something else you're passionate about to do because that impassionate spirit is gonna show sooner or later and it's gonna affect your career path. Okay. So in summary, decide what you want to do, what you want to be, have a vision about it, be willing to try new things, always appraise yourself in the positions you are in, on the business you're in, know whether you are aligned. If you don't align, either align or find another place you can align, but remain passionate about what you do. Okay, that has worked for me, and I believe it may work for a whole lot of people as well. Great. So I think, Chidai, that's the last question, right?
Yeah, it is. It is, Ikenna. Thank you
Yeah, awesome,
so
awesome.
very much. Thank you so much, guys. So, if you want to catch a replay, I noticed a lot of you joined quite late. If you want to catch the replay, you need to join our Telegram group. I've dropped the link in the chat room, so you all can access the Telegram group there so that you can catch the replay of this recording. Thank you so much, Ikenna. I love the way you ended it. It's all about the mindset. So if you really want to make it, if you really want to make it work, you can. And if you cannot, you don't need to compromise, and because it will affect your mindset. Thank you so much, guys. So finally, before we leave, let us all say where we're coming in from. We have just 1 minute. So just type in the chat room where you listening from. Lagos, Accra, Ghana. Just say hi in your native language before we, or bye rather in your native language. Benin, someone is listening from Benin. Fab Hub NG. Thank you so much. Lagos, Abuja. Thank you. Bye, Lagos. Wow. Okay. Thank you so much, Lagos. Thank you from Muna from Port Harcourt. Okay, thank you so much. Kwara, someone is listening from Kwara. Wow. Adebayo, Lagos, Abuja. Thank you so much, guys. Please, can we get the slides? No, you